Welcome to the Silicate, Magnesium, and Conservation of Mass video activity. If you have not completed the pre-lab question, pause the video and complete it now. When you're ready, start the video again. All right, let's begin with part 1. Let's take a look at the materials and equipment that we'll be using. And the first thing we want to do is measure one small medicine cup with approximately 12.5 liters of water. Here's the mass for that cup of water. That would be the first entry on your lab report under part 1. If you need to pause the video, you can do so at any time. Next, we have the mass of the magnesium chloride pellets. This is a small scoop of those pellets, and this would be the next entry on your lab report. Pause the video to calculate the total mass before mixing. When you're ready, start the video again. Now it's time to combine our magnesium chloride pellets and the water. So I'm adding it into the cup, and now I'm just going to stir with my wooden stirrer, and I'm just going to keep stirring it until they're almost dissolved. Let's take a look at the mass of our water and almost dissolved pellets. I've got my scale turned on and make sure it's zeroed out. I'm going to place the cup up on the scale, and here is the total mass after mixing. Pause the video to complete part 1 on your lab report. When you're ready, start the video again. Part 2 is a continuation of what we did in part 1. The solution that we mixed in part 1 I have set aside for now. We'll come back to it in a minute. So let's get started with some of the preliminary calculations of some of the other substances. First, we have the mass of a small medicine cup that is empty. That is the first entry under part 2. Pause the video if you need to. Start it when you're ready. Next is the same small medicine cup with a small amount of sodium silicate solution. This would be entry number 2 under part 2 on your lab report. Pause the video if you need to. When you're ready, start it again. Next, I'm bringing back our solution from part 1, and I'm adding 1 drop of blue food coloring to the solution. All right, so here's my 1 drop, and I'm going to stir it with the wooden stirrer. And I'm going to apologize that my hand is in the way for most of this. At the end of this video, I have still shots of what was happening at each phase where you can kind of see in between my hand here. So there's the stirring. This is the part 1 solution with 1 drop of food coloring. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that sodium silicate solution and add it, and you can immediately see that something was happening. And I'm just using my stirrer to mix the 2 solutions together. and you can see what's happening. I did scrape as much of the substance off back into the cup as much as I could so we could get an accurate reading once we put it on the scale. And here's the mass of our mixture. While stirring it in the cup, it was soft and moist and pliable. But once I pulled some of it out onto the paper towel that you can see here, it was more of a solid crystal type substance. And now it's time for you to complete part 2. Good luck.